We have given f and g, and we have to find the limit. First, we have limit as x approaches 4 of f of x plus g of x. We know that the limit of sum is the sum of the limits. So we can rewrite a example, and we will have limit as x approaches 4 of f of x plus g of x is equal limit as x approaches 4 of f of x plus limit as x approaches 4 of g of x. So first we have to find the limit as x approaches 4 of f of x. This is our f of x function, and we see that here we have 2, so the unit is 2, so next will be 4. This is 4. When we are approaches 4, we see that we are there close to 0. Value of our function is going to 0. So limit as x approaches 4 of f of x is equal 0, and we have plus, and now we have to check the g function. We have to find 4 because we have limit as x approaches 4, and we see then we are going to 4 from the left side and from the right side. The value of our function is going to 4 because we have 2, 4, so 4 will be the next. It doesn't matter that the value of our function 4 is 2. We have to find the limit as x approaches 4 of our function g of x. Now when x is equal 4. The definition of limit as x approaches 4 of g of x says that we consider values of x that are close to 4. They're close, but not equal 4. That's why the limit as x approaches 4 of g of x is 4, not 2, because we consider values of x that are close to 4. When we are close to 4 from this side or from the right side, we are going to 4. So this is equal 4. Next we have to find the limit as x approaches 2 of f of x plus g of x. Again, we can rewrite this that the limit of sum is equal sum of limits. So we have limit as x approaches 2 of f of x plus limit as x approaches 2 of g of x. So first we have to look to the f function. We are going to 2 from the left side and from the right side. We see that when we are going to 2 from the right side, we are going to value 2. And when we are going to 2 from the left side, the value of our function going to 4. So we can write that the limit as x approaches 2 from the right side of f of x is equal, when we are going to 2 from the right side, the value going to 2. And when we are going to 2 from the left side. From the left side we are going to 2, so we see the values are going to 4. So the left and the right limits are different. So we don't have to check limit of our g function, because limit of f of x, right and left, is different. So limit of as x approaches to of f of x plus g of x does not exist. So because we have that limit as x approaches 2 from the right and limit as x approaches 2 from the left is different, so limit as x approaches 2 of f of x does not exist. Because limit as x approaches 2 of f of x does not exist, we don't have to check the limit of as x approaches to of g of x, because limit of f of x as x approaches to does not exist. It means that limit of f of x plus g of x as x approaches to does not exist. Okay, and next we have limit of f of x times g of x as x approaches 0. This is equal limit of product is the product of limits. So we can write that this is equal limit as x approaches 0 of f of x times limit as x approaches 0 of g of x. So first we'll look to graph of f. Our function, when x approaches 0, we see that value of our function, we can say it is around 2 and 9. We can write approximately 2.9. And now we are going to g. When we approaches 0 from left and left side, we see that the value of our function going to 0. So we have times 0, so this is equal 0. Next, we have to find the limit d. Let me copy this. X going as x approaches 4 of x cubed times f of x. So again we can rewrite this, that this is equal limit as x approaches 4 of x cubed times limit as x approaches 4 of f of x. So this is equal limit as x approaches 4 of x cubed. We can substitute x by 4. So we have 4 to third power times, and now we have to look to graph of our f function. When x approaches 4, we see that value of our function is going to 0 from left side when we are going to 4, and from right side we are very close to 4, the value is 0. We are going to 0. So we have times 0. So this is equal 0. So we have 0. Next we have to find limit as x approaches negative 2 of g of x over f of x. So this is equal we have limit of quotient. So the limit of quotient is the quotient of the limits. So we can rewrite that this is equal limit as x approaches negative 2 of g of x over limit as x approaches negative 2 of f of x. So first let's look to the g function. Negative 2 we have to find, this is 2, so negative 2 will be 2 here. And when we are going to negative 2 from left and right, the value of our function going to negative 2. So in numerator we will have negative 2. And now we have to check our f function. When we are going to negative 2, we see that our function going to 0. Value of our function going to 0. So we have negative 2 over 0. We cannot have 0 in denominator. So the limit of g of x over f of x as x approaches negative 2 does not exist. One more time, why? Because when we are going to negative 2, we see that graph of our function, the values are going to 0. So we have in denominator 0. We cannot have 0 in denominator. So the limit does not exist. And the last example, we have limit as x approaches 2 of square root of 2 plus g of x. So this is equal, we can rewrite this, that this is equal square root of limit as x approaches 2 of 2 plus g of x, and this is equal square root of limit of sum we have, so this is sum of limits x approaches 2 of 2 plus limit as x approaches 2 of g of x. So this is equal limit as x approaches 2 of 2. 2 is constant, so the limit is 2, and we have plus. Now we have to look to graph of g function as x approaches 2. G function. When we are going to 2, we see that the value of our function values are going to 2. From left side and from the right side we are approaches 2. So we have limit as x approaches 2 of g of x is 2. So this is equal square root of 4. So this is equal to. This is my solution.